Yes, 10 people had to be airlifted to safety after the heavy rain there caused landslides across several roads in parts of Scotland.
There were amber and yellow weather alerts for heavy downpours across large parts of the country over the weekend, and the M9 near Stirling was described as barely passable.
Well, let's get the latest in all of this from the weather journalist Nathan Rao, who joins us this morning. Good morning to you, Nathan.
Good morning.
It couldn't be further from the weather that we experienced in the south, but terribly dangerous mudslides and all sorts happening. Tell us more.
Absolutely. Now, this weather was actually a result of part of the weather from the south. It was the clash of the warm air coming up from the south and the north and the cold air from the north, and this caused this intense deluge, up to 6 inches of rain in quite a short period of time, which is around a month's worth. So that's a very high amount of rainfall for quite a short period of time. And we saw the consequences. There was meetings regarding travel restrictions. There are still travel restrictions in place. Even though the rain has abated now, the flooding is still going to be an issue. So Traffic Scotland are warning that some of the roads are still going to be impassable. And ScotRail are also warning that some of the rail services are going to be suspended and there is no rail replacement. So if you are travelling in the area of Scotland today, it is worth checking those agencies to see to make your plans.
Nathan, this is so scary to watch, the devastation that we're seeing there. And you mentioned ScotRail. I saw some Instagram footage which was the railway line through its station was just like a river. Yeah. It was, the people were on the platform and it was a river that they were looking down upon. And when we see the consequences of heavy downpours such as that, I reckon that's one of the scariest situations to be in.
It really is, and one of the reasons for that is because it is so fast and it is so intense. And as I said, there was a month's worth of rain that fell in a matter of hours. And one of the problems with that is also, as well as the flooding, is landslips and landslides. And that is one of the things that crashed down and caused the problems with the travel and is still causing problems today.
I look at situations like that and I think, what is the best thing to do? Stay in your car, get out of your car, and if so, where do you go?
And where do you go? I mean, the authorities are warning today that if you are planning to travel in the region, to check your travel arrangements and make only emergency travel plans. And I think that is the best way to deal with this, because if you are caught in one of these things, you're quite right, there's very little you can do. And it's also worth mentioning that on Tuesday there is another weather warning out for the west of Scotland. That is a Met Office yellow warning for further rain. So coming on top of what we've already seen, Scotland's in a bit of trouble at the moment.
And just talking about the sort of regions that were affected, it was around Aviemore, I believe, that a lot of these problems were happening in the Highlands. And you're talking about the west of Scotland getting affected from tomorrow. Are things going to get better then in other parts, or just give a sort of regional picture, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, the main problem is going to be in Perth, Inverness-shire and Stirling. These are the regions that have had the heaviest rain, and it's the west, as I said, the west fringes of Scotland that are going to have the rainfall on Tuesday. But because the lag effect of flooding is prominent, so whenever you get heavy rainfall, as I said, the rain has abated now. However, the rivers are still going to be bulging with that heavy rainfall that they've had over the weekend, and that is going to put a prolonged risk of flooding in those areas. So really the whole region is going to be under this threat of flooding for the next few days at least, until the river levels start to recede, go down again, and the rain abates a bit more. But then the rain is going to be moving south, so the lovely weather that we've had over the weekend, make the most of it, because in the south of the country, across the rest of England, we are going to get a taste of that unsettled, wetter weather as the week goes on.
OK, interesting.